You're tuned in to Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP.
That's us, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. 215-204-9449 is the number if you want to call and hang with us. One of the best college basketball analysts in the country joins us right now, and that's Dick Vitale from ESPN. Dick, it's Zach Gelb and Chase Sr. How are you?
I'm doing really well, man. Just down here in Florida, getting ready tonight, go see the Yankees play against the Rays. Rays just swept the Athletics. It'll be a great pitching matchup tonight. Sabathia versus Matt Moore. Matt Moore is 3-0 right now, and he can be a little wild, but he can be very effective. So we're hoping for a big win by the Rays.
Yeah, I know that you're a big-time Rays fan as well, and they've got some success over the years. But when I watch you on a broadcast, and I had a fan when I told him that we were having Dick Vitale on today, he said we were the diaper dandy of college radio shows, and I always love the exuberance that you bring to the game, whether it's with America, Are You Serious, or with the babies that you always throw in there and stuff. What do you try to bring to the broadcast when you first started off doing this?
Well, the bottom line is I was told years ago I was nothing but a jock who somebody gave me a microphone and said, talk about the game you love. I mean, I had coached in high school, college, and the NBA, got fired in the NBA in November 8, 1979, and here comes ESPN, and they offered me a job, and I've been there 34 years since. I did the very first game ever on ESPN in terms of college basketball, Wisconsin and DePaul, and the boss at that time, Scotty Connell, came over from NBC. He told me, he said, Dick, he said, you have something that's important. You connect with people. He said, when you say something, people respond. They may not all agree, but they respond. And I didn't know what he was talking about. I had no idea. So I wanted to get back coaching at college. And then I went to my first assignment for ESPN to the Final Four in '83 when my late buddy Jimmy V won it all. And I knew then what he meant because people were coming up for autographs and pictures. And he kept saying to me, don't go to coach, stay. You can have a heck of a life in this. And he taught me to do one thing. He said, we're in a business to do the 2 E's, educate and entertain. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of guys forget that we're in the entertainment business as well. It's not just about boring people, X and O them to death, whether it be football, basketball, baseball. There are a lot of games I watch, man. By the second or third inning, I'm sleeping because I'm over-technicalized. I think a lot of guys play to their buddies, to their coaching buddies and their friends, and don't realize majority of the people out there could care less about all the technical ramifications that they try to share. And I try to balance it. I try to give you the X's and O's, but also try to entertain.
Dick, only being 18 years old, I wasn't able to witness in person the NC State Championship with your dear friend Jim Valvano. I didn't even see his ESPY speech, but I've been able to see all those events over the years through YouTube and the documentaries that ESPN puts out there in their 30 for 30 series. And we had Bob on the show, his brother Bob Valvano, just a few weeks ago to talk about him. But you knew Jim better than most towards the end of his life. Tell me a little bit more about Jim Valvano and what he meant to you.
Well, first of all, he inspired me a great deal with his courageous battle. A lot of people don't realize I really wasn't that close to Jimmy until I got to really know him well when he came to ESPN. And his short tenure at ESPN, I think it might have been just only a year and a half or so, ultimately came down with cancer. And I watched how courageously he battled. And then I introduced him at the ESPY Awards that night when he gave that rousing speech. And it's probably one of the great speeches of all time in sports. And I stood on the stage next to him. We helped to carry him up to the stage. He was in so much pain and so much really discomfort throughout the entire stay in New York that it was amazing that he delivered the speech that he did. But since then, we have raised now over $120 million with the V Foundation. And I try to do my little part with my annual gala. Last year we honored Jay Wright, and we raised over $2.1 million. We had Gary Williams and Lou Holtz as well as we honored. This year we're honoring Bobby Bowden, we're honoring Bill Self, and Jim Calhoun. We'll have Dennis Edwards and the Temptations give us a great concert post-gala, and it'll be a special. We're very close to a sellout. We hold 800 people, and right now we're at about 780. We got about 20 tickets left. If anybody wants them, go to dickvitaleonline.com or call 941-3 350-0580, and I'd suggest you do it quickly. You can also, if you want to make a donation, get a Gala basketball and football, a limited edition. You can't get your hands on these. We have a few left with Jay Wright's picture, Gary Williams' picture, Lou Holtz's. If you want one of those balls photographed by me, you can call that same number, 941-350-0580. There are about 20 balls left, and you can get one for $100 donation to the V Foundation.
Dick Chase Sr. here, and as an aspiring broadcaster, it's been a pleasure watching you growing up. I love your work that you do for ESPN. Philadelphia has a rich basketball tradition, and a multitude of elite guards have been born and raised and flourished in the city. But when it comes to picking a university, a lot of these players elect to bring their talents elsewhere. Rashid Jordan, the latest to do so. He's a top 25 player and the number 1 ranked prospect in Pennsylvania. He made his decision on April 11th and chose Steve Lavin's St. John's Red Storm over Fran Dunphy's Temple Owls. Dunphy is obviously one of the nation's best coaches, but what has kept him from landing some of these big-time recruits?
Well, the bottom line is there are a lot of other schools out there, and sometimes kids just want to get away. I know when I coached at the University of Detroit, metropolitan area, we're lucky to get some great local kids. I used to tell kids in Detroit, man, I'm not letting you leave here. You're going to be wrapped up. I'll stay at the airport and not let you get out. But, you got to understand the competition in recruiting is so keen. You're right, Fran does a phenomenal job. Bottom line is I do know about that youngster. He's going out to St. John's, and they did a heck of a job, obviously, selling him. I'm playing in the Big Apple, but I could never fault the kid in making their decision. Sometimes they don't do the right thing, but they are kids, and the bottom line is the grass always looks greener so many times away from home. But then in some situations, getting away is maybe the best thing for them, because maybe they've got friends that want to hang on them and do things that maybe aren't in a comfort zone, what you want to do. Maybe getting away is the best thing. So you got to, try to respect everybody. Just like coming out, early. Oh, that kid shouldn't go out. He is crazy. He's not ready. I had a guy give me the whole lecture today about Cody Zeller. And I said, oh, really? He might not be ready. But what happens now if he tears his knee and here's a chance to make millions by being a lottery selection?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to understand, I respect Marcus Smart. He decided to come back to Oklahoma State and wait a year before he's going to get his millions. But there's always the danger involved. Good old university ain't going to stand up and cheer for you and pay your bills if you tear your knee up, and you could sign with a stroke of one signing, take care of your family for life.
Zach Gelb, Chase Sr. here with you, Temple Sports Hour, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP, talking to Dick Vitale and Dickie V. This Temple team was supposed to move into the Big East, and I grew up in New York, so it was a somber day when the Big East broke up, and now they're going to turn into the Catholic 7 plus 2 more schools. But this new conference, the American Athletic Conference, what do you think Temple could bring to this brand-new conference?
Well, Temple's got a pretty good basketball tradition. I think there's no question about it. They've had a rich basketball tradition. I think that they're obviously will be a big plus, but real sad, what's happened in college athletics and intercollegiate sports has really broken my heart, because it makes no sense geographically when you see some of these matchups, some of the schools, Rutgers to the Big Ten, Syracuse to the ACC, Pittsburgh to the ACC, West Virginia to the Big 12. You got to need a scorecard to keep up with all the teams that are in that new conference, and it's just really sad. But it's all greed. It's all about money. It's all about football, and it's really, really sad.
Temple doesn't get as much national recognition that other basketball institutions receive, but when the Owls did play nationally televised games this past year, Khalif Wyatt stepped up with some incredible scoring performance. Dick, I'm not sure how many times you got the opportunity to see Wyatt play, but he especially caught the nation's attention with back-to-back 31-point games in the NCAA tournament against NC State and Indiana. He's not the most athletic guard, but what Wyatt does have is a nice pace to his game, and he can score at will, and his mental approach to the game is impressive. Do you see him as a possible NBA player in future years?
Well, he's a very strong, very physical kind of scorer. He really knows how to get his shot off and really makes up for a lack of athleticism. He had a great game against Syracuse when they beat Syracuse. I believe that might have been Cuse's first loss. And then against Indiana, the way he started the game, he was carrying Temple right there until the end, where obviously Indiana took over. But he's had a terrific, certainly, stay at Temple, and I wish him
Bradshaw.
Yeah, he does a great job. He's really great. I was talking to him down at the Final Four, and I was there, and we were talking, and I said, I go to about 3-4 Notre Dame games a year. Football. My daughters went to school there, my sons-in-laws. So I looked at the opening game, and I said, Billy, is it worth it for me to travel to go there? He says, come and watch us. We're pretty good, man. How good is Temple in football?
Well, here's the thing. They have a new coach coming in by the name of Matt Rule, who was here when the renaissance started of Temple football, when Al Golden came in. And as we all know, Al Golden's now doing great things at the University of Miami. But he's a brand-new head coach in Matt Rule. This is a young team. They have a new quarterback in Connor Riley. Actually, their quarterback from last year, Chris Coyer, changed over to tight end. So I'm just going to say Notre Dame should win the football game. But if Temple does win, it would probably be one of the biggest wins in program history.
Well, I'm going to be there for opening game. So I'll be there. You tell Mr. Bradshaw, I've already made my plans. I'm going. I got tickets. My family's going. And we're going to enjoy the beautiful, at that time of the year, the weather's really nice when it's opening day because it gets a little frigid there later in the year. Guys, I got to wrap up soon, but really, it's been great being on with you. I thank you so much. Is there anything else you need?
No, that's it. We appreciate the time, Dick. Thanks so much. And once again, just tell our audience how they can get over to the Gala Foundation on May 17th.
Well, if you want really a lot of information, also I got a new book out, Getting a W in the Game of Life. And my latest book is all motivation, chasing dreams, and every dollar I would make from the book, every dollar, goes toward my $1 million plus. This year, we're going to hit the $10 million mark for my gala for the V Foundation for kids battling cancer. If you'd like to help us buy my book, go to, well, it'll be Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or you can get it at my website. You can go to dickvitaleonline.com. dickvitaleonline.com, and you can find out about my gala, about the book, and all the things I'm doing. Also, follow me, guys, on Twitter /DickieV.
Well, we'll definitely do that, Dick. We appreciate the few minutes today. Best of luck on May 17th, and let's talk to you again real soon.
Thanks so much.
Take care now.
Dick Vitale right there, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. We'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we got a whole